I'm here today to announce that the program known as DACA that was effectuated under the Obama administration is being rescinded.
The decision to end DACA sparked protests across the country.
He says this community simply doesn't have that long.
Donald Trump has decided to phase out the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA.
Many of the 800,000 Dreamers will begin to lose their protection in March of next year.
President's decision on DACA
For
are
all
making
of
their
those
voices
DACA,
heard.
you have
Dozens of
nothing to
Dreamers
worry about, no
protested
action.
Yesterday outside President Trump's D.C. hotel. They held
He like punches you with his face. We used to say that he punch kisses, as he just like pecks you with his face. He just like he like lunges. There's no warning. He just punches you. You're gross. Yeah.
My story with DACA is, I suppose, isn't the most ideal because I didn't even know that I was an immigrant till I was a lot older. I knew that I came from Mexico, I knew that, but I lived like here in Texas my whole life.
You want some meat?
My name is Maria Guadalupe Lerma Céspedes, but I go by Pita. I was born in San Luis Potosí, Mexico. I lived there for about 3 years. I mainly grew up in Corinth, Texas, which is about 15 minutes away from where I live now in Denton. I go to school at North Central Texas College. I am pursuing a degree in psychology. I just finished my first class of the day. That is my philosophy class. And I'm preparing to go into my psychology class next. I'm not letting the cold and flu season bother me or impede me from going to class. It's important.
To start, Lupita came to this country legally. She had all her permits, passports, visa, everything to be here. And her permit and everything was supposedly permanent.
I remember a very small fraction of actually moving from Mexico to Texas. So actually I was really fortunate in being like the exact age where I can develop a new language and not have a lot of trouble with it.
Yeah.
I was widowed on 1997 when Lupita was only a year and 3 months. And situation financially got very stressful for me. So we thought probably moving to the States temporary just to make some savings. Everything was great. I fall in love with the system. I fall in love with the discipline. I got used to the life here. And my kids were just so happy. It was, we used to hang out in the parks and just have a different kind of freedom than we never had before. This is all my kids graduating high school. That's Angel. That's Juan. And Lupita is not here graduating, so.
I'm right there.
Oh, yeah, she's here.
I'm graduating.
You know that little bitty thing in there? That's Lupita. So after September 11, her legal status went from permanent to only 10 years from the time that she crossed the border. So that changed a lot because we had the permanent permit when it was seals, when it was paper. And after September 11, everything became electronic. But that time, Lupita's dad had already died, so we couldn't prove the income that we were able to prove before when she got her permit. So it was really hard for me to go back and try to start from zero, so we decided to stay here.
Whenever I came to find out that I needed DACA, was because I was 16 years old and all of my friends were getting licenses and they were getting permits and all that stuff. And whenever I asked my mom, when can I get my license? When can I get my permit? Or I wanted to start driving. And my mom told me that I'm different, that I don't have the same status, the citizenship status as my friends, and so I was gonna have to go through a different process. That's how I like started understanding, was because I wanted my license, and then I found out more about like why I needed DACA.
It's like, let me adjust. I know you're doing. I'm proud of you. I know, but come on, love, come here, come on, Letty.
To be able to qualify for that, she had to be here before the year 2000, which she was. The family had to be able to prove that Lupita was all her school. Then she never left the country before 2000, where that was easy too. So it was a great opportunity. I mean, we can imagine, something better for them, because suddenly it was the opportunity for them to drive freely. She was this successful teenager. She was awesome in school, so she just needed the paper to be able to do what she was already doing. So that was like the best thing that could ever happen to us.
It's 5 o'clock. I just got off my shift at Olive Garden. I'm sitting here in the parking lot. I just let my hair down, which that's a sign that I am done for the day. The news of DACA being repealed actually hit me a lot harder than I thought it was going to. I realized that the more that I learned about DACA, also the more that I learned that a lot of people around me were also DACA recipients. And I started seeing the people behind this. But by taking that away, it takes away like everything. It takes away their opportunity to achieve those goals, to achieve those aspirations, to see those dreams come true one day. And I think that really sucks. I think that it shouldn't have to be such a big part of their lives, but it is. Like every implementation that is made is going to affect the American people in some way, shape, or form. But what those people, I guess, fail to really concentrate on or to even like consider is the fact that might affect you a little bit, but if this is taken away, it's going to affect these people like completely. And the way that they see it is like, well, that's not my problem.
I can sound political, and I would be an ignorant if I talk about politics. Frustrating is probably the best way to describe. I wish I could make, and I talked to Pita before, and I said, I wish I can make a list of what is being done and the quality of life that we had. I wish I can just show it to someone to say there is millions of kids and they've been working so hard. And it's like suddenly somebody unplugged that opportunity, It's just, they just took that away from us. Everything that my kids achieve here is just so awesome that I can't feel anything else but frustration. My life can't be complete without the freedom of my kids.
Yeah.
Last year, I went through a little period where I was away all summer. So whenever I came home, I didn't apply in time. I didn't have the money for it. And so, and my previous application had expired. And so suddenly, I was in this really weird place where I couldn't work to make the money to pay for the application for DACA. And so suddenly I couldn't work. I couldn't register for school, and my driver's license was invalid. But I was just in a bind. I was in a very scary place where I began to feel vulnerable in a way that I never had before. Like, who would have thought that the ability to work, the ability to drive legally is a luxury? But it is a luxury. It is. That safety and security, that is a luxury.
Because I witnessed firsthand how hard she works for everything that she had. She put so much effort in everything that I think she deserves the freedom. I'm not saying, help or financial help. No, just she deserves to be able to get in her car and knowing that she's safe from an immigration status check. Every time when Lupita called me, the first question, are you okay? You know, it's not fair. It's not fair. And I'm not talking accidents. I'm talking she's exposed to so much that whatever happens, she's not safe.
All of my fondest memories are here. Me and my older brother were born in Mexico, and I know that we both love and appreciate the idea of Mexico and our culture. We do take pride in that. But we were raised here like the rest of my siblings.
Look at me and Juan. I was so much cuter than him.
My middle brother was born in Bronzeville, and my two little siblings were born in Dallas. And that's where I got to teach my little sister to walk and like hold her fingers while she did it. That's where we played in our sandbox in the backyard that my dad built for us. But yeah, I think that's something that's a privilege of being an immigrant, is that you know how bad things can get in other places, whether that's through your family or through you having lived somewhere previously or through your stories from your parents or something like that. And just having eyes opened to the greatness that is your home now. My home now.